10 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. EG's turn to pick.
Behold the horn of Magnus.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Riki.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Omni-Knight.
EG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Ruvik.
Radiant team ban.
Kill you all.
EG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. EG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Imba Spirit.
EG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Doom.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds.
Warlock.
EG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Juggernaut.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 5 seconds remaining. EG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. EG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Sven stands ready.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Prepare for battle.
Well, it seems in the overcompensating has now gone back to what it was.
Yeah.
So it's EG, American flag all the way. But I don't know, man. IG, it's different, it's creative, it's strong in the lanes. The Sven pickup, the panel was a little bit odd about it. Like Wraith King, you were calling it yourself, like was probably going to be a better pickup. Is Sven still going to be able to achieve enough for them?
I'm not so sure. I'm kind of following the panel on their switching back and forth on the predictions. I think in the second game, IG's draft was significantly better in game one, not only for them, but also against what EG had. And this time around, I just flat out like EG's draft better. I'm looking forward for IG to prove me wrong here, but after I saw their first 4 picks, I didn't see the obvious synergy between them. You know, Warlock and Omni Knight, they want to play like this. They want to 5-man go to push a tower and keep their carry safe, who is doing the building damage. Ember can't be the pushing hero. He's more of a mobile hero that gets around and sets up fights. And Riki is the same story. Riki doesn't really play too well into this 5-man style. So their last pick needed, for me at least, to solve a lot of problems. It needed to be a carry that can manage being doomed. It needed to be a carry that can deal damage to towers. And it needed to be a carry that can go in and set up this whole teamfight strategy that they want. I think Sven was a great choice, but I'm still skeptical. I don't know how good of a Sven game this really is. The hero is on paper really good against Juggernaut because you have the Warcry against Omnislash is very nice. It's been a classic counterpick in the past. But there's just a lot of things to deal with here. And as they rightfully pointed out, Rubik against Omni Knight. Maybe it's going to be Omni Knight playing against a better Omni Knight. Rubik is faster cast time and he could just get doomed. Oh. Tricky game. I favor EG clearly in this, but like you said, IG, their lanes could go very well. They have bo3 Riki. We've seen it win.
Yep. And
let's see how much they can do.
Maybe that's also the play. Like, is bo3 causing issues? You are running that tiny in the mid. It's not the easiest thing to run away with. And OP's going to have a lot better lane than he did last time he played the Ember Spirit. And up on top, XXS is loving this top lane against Universe. Both go PMS, but already with 2 purifications, Universe is on the back foot of this lane. And then on bottom, yeah, Bunny's going to take damage, but you've got Warlock. Fantastic hero zoning out the lane. Crit doesn't really do much in the early game. He can combine up with Arteezy, but that's only if they feel confident enough to really like actually be aggressive with telekinesis grab.
I'm wondering why EG chose to go for this laning setup, because...
To actually dodge it and put Universe versus the Omni?
In my mind, Omni Knight wins this lane.
Stormbolt.
Fairly convincingly.
bo3 crit. Well, Sentry Ward or not, there's still a lot of damage coming up from bo3.
More.
He'll need one more attack.
Oh, it's not
the
enough.
orb is doing work, but it's not enough. bo3, he'll get the hit. So he will actually give up his life, but bo3 will take first blood. Well worth it if you're that Riki.
Well, especially Arteezy didn't get the last hit on the Riki, so the gold gets split as well for them. Good start for IG here. Warlock wasn't even involved in that. He was out polling at the same time. And this is what makes me wonder why EG are going for this laning setup. Do they think that with this aggressive dual lane and the Doom rotating in, that they can beat this safe lane so much that it's worth leaving a flat-out one-on-one mid, and this Omni Knight will get a lot? I think Omni Knight loses to very few melee heroes just because Purification is such an amazing... like, it's such an effective way to use mana that you heal yourself and damage the opponent. It's a great trade-off spell.
Oh,
and he has the
Zai.
Degen aura.
Zai is moving up, like he wants to go for a kill over on the Warlock, but bo3 body blocking him out, so Zai knew he couldn't just walk down with a Shadow Word. The damage is decent, the Orb of Venom is allowing them to keep up as well, and now in comes the Rubik Fade Bolt, reducing the damage so Zai can continue his run. But that's the other thing about the bottom lane, like, I suppose like when you've got both Crit as well as Arteezy down here, bo3's looking more to that lane than to try and stop the jungling Doombringer.
If you can counter the enemy's supposedly safe lane carry, as it could have been this game, and at the same time secure your own carry farm, and you have 2 other matchups that you're expecting are even or even favorable, this is the place to be as Riki. There's no doubt about it. This is the best play for him on the map right now. Eventually, when the Ember gets more levels, there will be kill potential on mid. I would like to see a bo3 rotate maybe at level 5 into that mid lane to try to go for a kill. We might even see the Ember go like a 3-0-2 build to have that extra damage unchanged, since the Tiny can break Flame Guard pretty well.
Oh, Arteezy going to spin on bottom lane, a quick telekinesis, oh I say quick, it's a little bit delayed telekinesis grab. The hilarious thing is though, that ward that was de-warded on the bottom lane, it was timing out in 5 seconds before it actually got consumed. So Crit's next sentry ward, they know exactly where that sentry is down, so they can just battle for the vision.
With a sentry, it paid for itself and you got a bit of XP, so it's alright. Oh, Dust from Zai. I don't really know if he can kill this guy. Oh, Crit might actually be able to connect because of this creep hurl boulder. Yeah, very short duration.
Which is also insanely slow. bo3 with no boots and being slowed down by the dust, but he stuck around. So Crit comes in closer. The Dire Observer Ward knows there's no one else up on top of that hill, and Zai, with the Scorched Earth, thought he could keep pressuring it, but can't even get the rune.
And now EG have expended the one advantage that they would have over this IG safe lane. They have used the Shrine, and all they managed to get out of it was a trade in which there was a 1-for-1 kill that favored IG. Burning is out-farming Arteezy, and they're pulling, and they're winning top lane.
Yeah,
and Magnus is getting Magnus is getting trashed actually, and it's not Universe playing particularly bad. This lane is just really, really hard. Omni Knight is so good at this type of lane. 25 for 14 against 10-0. It's not just that he's out farming him; he's out leveling him super hard. 15 denies.
bo3, the Searing Chains from OP is going to be able to connect and skew it down. Universe has to create space, but bo3 jumps up. Samel will have to trigger the Shrine, but no! He'll get done by the Riki.
He's actually channeling his inner Monkey King. That was like a 400 range melee attack right there.
It's the longer range dagger.
I actually can't believe he got that hit off.
It's a reacher, man. It's a reacher.
You know, daggers are not a long. It's not a long sword. It's a dagger. A dagger doesn't reach that far.
Maybe
it was a fishing pole.
Maybe he's learnt the art of the throw. Except he's doing it against EG.
Actually, it'd be pretty cool if Ricky had like a dagger throw. Kind of what PA has. It's very unoriginal. Great idea, Sim.
You make it.
That was actually your idea. Bad idea, Toby.
Oh no, we could slacks this.
Yeah.
We could definitely slacks this. The dagger actually throws, allowing you then to Phantom Strike to a target.
Let's keep our eyes on top, actually. This could get scary for Universe. Ricky is one-on-one build, so there is the smoke screen now available. They can always just put an Omni heal on top of him. Oh, he's gonna go bottom. There's trouble in bottom
Paradise. Q's
dead.
Yeah, he gets spun out, but Burning's moving over. He actually doesn't have... Actually, he's got the stick charges, so there is mana if he wants to go for the Storm Bolt. Lets it go on the Juggernaut. Bobrica puts down the smoke screen as well. Juggernaut, the damage is going to be enough, even with the quick little blink strike from Bobrica. Arteezy had the assistance from Crit to get the kill.
Oh,
the Crit
but it's set
moving
up
in
OP.
at OP. He's just looking at Rubik before he ended up searing, chaining him up. But the damage, the burn, it should be enough from the Flame Guard to get the kill on Crit. But no more follow-up, and you did rotate the Ember away from Samael to do this. But it brings Ember Spirit very close to that level 6. And in fact, now he has it after picking up the Bounty Rune. So now there's kill potential in the mid lane against Samael. Even though Samael is level 6 and does actually have the 3-2 combination, you always have to respect that Ember's damage.
I wonder what EG are going to do with Arteezy. So what has happened now is that Mag has rotated into the jungle because he got destroyed too hard in lane. He knows this isn't worth it for him. So they're going to put Crits Rubik in top lane to soak that experience and get whatever last hits he can. As a result, Arteezy is solo off lane on Juggernaut right now. And this is not a safe place for him to be with Ricky off the map. So his farm should also get limited. And I'm looking towards the Samael to start getting something done with this haste rune. I think finding a key pick, or at least keeping on farming at this rate so he gets a fast blink, they're gonna need this play potential, because this Doom has not really accomplished way too much just yet.
Universe can accomplish anything. Like, Bobica just reminded him that he's a Ricky. Yep. And he's watching it. This is the standard wards we saw coming out from IG every time they played these roamers, be it Monkey, be it the Ricky. Always looking for the opening, and always making sure the jungle is in a place where the Magnus can disappear to farm.
Crit can die here. This Ricky just got his Ring of Aquila. He can blink strike in, get Omni healed, and smoke screen.
Oh, this is number 1.
Yep.
There's another 2 where that came from.
Then maybe more to come. I think he wants phase boots first. Oh, this is big if he gets it right now.
You see him positioning it in the open area where he can run a straight line. So one attack, he'll need 2 to do it. So Curry is down.
2/3 of a level for Ricky. Or 2/3 of a level. And a good 1,000 gold for his team.
Decent. How about more money? Omni Knight gets an 8-minute Hand of Midas on this off lane. He actually bypassed finishing up his Arcane Boots in order to pick up the Hand of Midas.
XXS is absurdly farmed on Omni Knight right now.
He's at 3.8k compared to the highest on EG, who's 2.8k, and that's the mid-tiny.
And this is without a kill, even. Like, he actually doesn't have any kill or assist gold. It's just flat-out farm in lane.
The Finger of Death has arrived, aka Ricky combining it with Purification.
Yep.
And Arteezy has to be careful about it, because he's not going to see it coming.
They can kill him.
If they smoke screen up...
I think they got him.
Alright, there's Purification, smoke screen,
I was wrong.
And he'll be okay. But this already forces him back and triggers the healing ward. And it's a level 1 healing ward. That's not enough life to go back into the lane.
I thought Omni Knight was going to be able to close the gap a bit more in Arteezy with the level 2 degen and just get in melee range that they could like clob him during the smoke screen, because that wasn't far off. There was 150 health on Arteezy there.
They found another target. Hi, Crit! Bye, Crit.
Oh, he's going to live.
Oh, Purification doesn't work, but he does get the telekinesis grab at the jump up. Bobrica now Omni Slash. Bobrica needs to go back into invisibility, able to do so on 25 HP.
He always does.
He always. Now you're a Sith. You're dealing in absolutes.
It's gonna be so annoying to play against. Like, it feels like this guy always gets away with no health. Probably he assessed the threats there. Like, he more than likely checked Juggernaut's mana and his number of stick charges and knew, okay, Arteezy will have Omni Slash, but not the spin. With a spin there, that's a kill 100%. And got away. So effectively forced an Omni Slash, forced Crit back to base, and all he paid with was his own rotation back to base. So ulti wasted.
And because this move is coming out from EG, Like, I was wondering if IG would have enough confidence to do what they're doing, where Burning is now able to have, like, Ancient stacks prepped. Like, yeah, you got a Magnus on the field, the Impound's not going to come up anytime soon, same with the Aghanim sipping from the Tiny. But these type of stacks is just opportunities for EG to try and contest, but Burning's just so damn strong, already having that Morbid Mask picked up, and he is going to complete it into a Mask of Madness with the death of these Ancients.
IG are winning this game really, really hard right now, in my opinion.
The only thing they're missing to be completely in control is the Warlock level 6.
Yeah, it's just...
And Samael is going to take that life away from him.
Not going to happen right now.
That's that was a 3-4 combination. Now he's up to 4-4. Bobrika's watching him, but you're not going to fight. God's Strength was already triggered to do the Ancients.
It's important, I think, for IG that they're building this kind of advantage, because I still think their lineup falls a little bit flat in some aspects later on. But if they can build this big of an advantage, they can probably compensate for the problems that they would have. EG might still be feeling alright. They know the Tiny Blink is coming soon. Magnus knows he's behind, but he's working on it. Doom, however, in my opinion, really low level right now. Zai is level 4, closing in on 5. They gave the Tome to Rubik so he could get Spell Steal and steal this Purification level 4. And I would really like to see them make use of this for a play.
They will! Try. Universe pulls them in, but Bobrika jumped himself down. Q still ended up taking a fall.
Very nice execution, though. They RP'd, Crit came in at the exact right time with the level 4 Purification, they skewered, they got a kill, but it was only on the support Warlock.
Yep.
So RP is down.
And he still makes it his level 6, so in 7 seconds time he can TP down to the bottom lane and potentially fight this if he has more friends.
They may have forgotten about Bobrika. This is actually really scary.
Bobrika? Okay.
Alright, apparently not.
He jumps in. XXS was here.
Oh, Ember couldn't connect. I thought Ember might have had a TP, because that could have been really dangerous. If Ember TP's in behind the tower there, and just jumps in.
They had the TP on Burning. It was actually triggering Shrine, so potentially he could have come back to be the man.
But instead, it's going to be Omni Knight joining. It doesn't really accomplish anything. Yeah. He's just going to farm. IG still sitting comfortably with top 3 net worth.
Reason why Burning doesn't go, so he can pick up the double bounty. It's been sitting there for almost 2 minutes.
The issue that IG will run into is this double blink dagger that's about to come out for EG. Well, the first one is coming out now for Smell.
Bobrika. Again, another courier. He's got the haste rune.
Oh dear.
He'll get the courier and then into the tricks of trade.
Oh, he's even gonna kill him. No!
Sai as well on the edge. He gets courier and Doom. Oh, this man. There's a reason why you first face ban. Well, you can't ban him. It's not possible. Even if you take the Ricky out. Bobrika's arsenal is just so brutal. And Samael now, Blink Dagger up, jumps himself in. Q, does he want to drop the rock? You bet your Nelly he does. With the Fatal Bonds connecting Samael and Crit together, the jump forward from OP, Purification. It's Crit trying to keep them alive. Able to do so and also just push IG away, but with that Golem up and running. It's Invictus Gaming that want to do damage to the Tier 1 tower. God's Strength committed by Burning as well. Samael doesn't really have a combination. Universe doesn't have his RP. But with the toss damage, Invictus Gaming, they back up for the moment. But Bobrika, you know what he wants. 1 is an Aquila, and 2 is Crit's scalp on his wall.
Crit just healed himself. He can't kill him now. He needs some assistance here.
Yeah.
Bobrika is doing so much work this game. It's like... He's effectively just dominated the map for this amount of time. If you get 2 courier kills, set up 3 kills including First Blood, or actually 4 kills, and you're countering the Doom's jungling at the same time, like he's managed to do all of these 3 things, you're playing a really good game. This is very impressive stuff from him.
I say Bobrika would be scared. Hello, Avalanche toss, middle lane, OP, just Spirit jumps away, and now Bobrika jumps in. He knows the combination from Samael is not there. The question is, can they get in range for the Purification? Tricks of the trade, it is just enough. The whole Tiny in with the Sleight of Fist searing change. You steal Purification again. But it's too late to help his Tiny out. And now this mid push does happen with Catapult in tow.
I'm not sure they can get it, though. There's no Golem. Fate Bolt is annoying. Like, this was the problem I was mentioning about IG's lineup. Like, they're not that good at hitting towers. It's only really
Sven gets bigger.
Sven needs to get bigger or have his ultimate ready. It's now off cooldown, but it's a bit too late here. So tower is defended. And Arteezy, we haven't talked so much about him lately. He's just been farming the top lane. He's trying to catch up the best he can.
The other hero to look at too is Universe.
Right.
He got a lot of space on bottom, got the last hit on the tower, and now actually has a Blink Dagger.
He's actually dealing really big damage here. Arteezy's going to be forced to TP out. Bobrika? Okay. Just tanking Blade Fury for fun?
Yeah, it's just his thing.
Yep. Arteezy actually didn't TP back to base. He TP'd to his own tier 2, so now he's really low.
Well, he's just trying to farm. He at least knows there's no Ricky.
He's leaving the wolf for Zai, and then he's going to go. Alright.
Radiant's middle tower.
Omni Knight is building Pipe as his first item, it looks like. And he's already queued up Pipe and Greaves. So very clear game plan from him as far as items are concerned.
Does he actually finish the pipe? Because it makes sense that he gets the hood.
Or actually,
the rest
you're
of
right.
his
You're
mech.
right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. He's only keeping the
Yeah.
Yep.
So at least he can tank through that initial magical damage of EG.
I think Pipe is still really good this game. He might
He can get it
consider
later.
getting it after the Greaves. It's just, you're playing against Scorched Earth, you're playing against Tiny's combo, just being able to protect your teammates and having that resistance aura is very, very useful. Even against Blade Fury, it helps. So, it would
EG are
be
coming
a very
north.
nice item. They have the Mag Blink now, right?
They're looking for some kind of fight.
Yeah, they want to use their Blink Daggers. I think they're feeling the pressure right now that IG are
They don't
getting a
have
lot out of the
target.
map.
And IG, they sense something coming. They scan to the east of their tier 1 tower on the top lane.
This could get
And because everyone's
really
missing.
dangerous.
Like, everyone's off the map at the moment.
This can get really, really dangerous because Warlock will have a good position here. EG don't have the best heroes to catch him off guard in the trees.
Yeah,
they
they
don't
come.
have a vision hero this time. And if they get a good golem drop and Ember follows through on top of it, this can be a complete disaster for EG. This Doom is not tanky.
Here comes Burning. He's looking for the denial on the tower. Can't get it. Arteezy will actually claim it.
They were too late.
Yep.
EG got away with it.
That they did. And they're already starting to TP out. Samael's going to head to bottom lane.
Crit sticking around with Arteezy now.
Just going for a straight trade-off.
Guess so.
Like, they'll see Samael defending the mid lane, which is what OP was pushing in before.
Yep.
So now that you don't actually have the Tiny there, you do have the option where Magnus is able to go for the RP, but there's no Empower buff up on the Juggernaut at the moment. He kind of needs that from Universe.
Important steal there. They get Purification again. When you're running a triple melee lineup like this, Purification is really powerful for EG to sit on all the time. It gives that extra little burst on the Tiny combo that could push it over the edge against a hero like Ember. Great with RP, obviously. Any RP gets that extra 300 damage nuke.
We haven't seen Sven really a hell of a lot lately. What do you think about him doing this build? Like the Mask of Madness, now he's going to go into an SMY. The Yasha's coming on the Quarry at the moment.
This seems to be the build he does almost every single time. I like the Mask of Madness just by nature of how the hero works. He has his 80-second cooldown ultimate, and his other active abilities.
Okay, Bobrika, that was
not this time.
Yeah, he jumps in to get the last hit, and Samael is very happy to put him down.
But the idea of the Mask of Madness is that Sven has an ability that boosts his armor, so the punishment for using Mask of Madness is less severe, and all of his cooldowns are longer than Mask of Madness, and you pop all your abilities when you go in anyway. So it's like nothing you need to cast. Helps ramp up your farm. SNY solves some mobility problems.
Okay,
That's good.
drag the creep wave down, get away from the tower. Fortification's going to stop Samael's toss from doing enough damage to kill off the tower straight away. And Burning, you know what he wants. Again, he's looking for another denial. They're only tossing a catapult in, but Sven does get that deny out.
IG seem a bit hesitant. I'm wondering if that fight isn't playable by Burning just popping all his stuff and going on Arteezy and seeing if they can set up a fight, but
They might
probably...
have also been worried because the mech only just got completed for IG.
Yeah, and Ricky was dead, but could have TP'd in if they kept the tower alive. They might have just felt like it wasn't worth the risk. The tower was already low, so even if they save it, it will probably fall shortly after.
Well, with these engagements, well, at least with the trade-off, I should say, that EG's been taking, they are slowly starting to whittle this lead away. It was just over 4,000 gold going the way of IG. Is starting to dip down. The experience was the bigger one, 7,000 in favor of Invictus Gaming, and it's only just starting to dip now.
Coincidentally, when Doom starts getting levels in Devour and a Midas, that seems to happen.
Oh.
But Doom is the kind of hero who I feel like it's a bit deceptive on, because the hero is built in such a way that it needs to be really farmed. Like, items on the hero are not as effective as other heroes, so he needs to compensate by being ahead. Similar to Alchemist. So the fact that they're still behind with a Doom who's this far down on farm is not a healthy sign for EG, but like you said, they're working their way up. This tower, they're definitely not going to get this
Yeah,
time.
Doom's in trouble. He's going to try and TP out this one with the Spirit Damage and Purification.
They just gave him hope for a moment there. They kill him on like 0.2 of the TP. And that is soon to be Guardian Greaves. Actually, they don't really counter anything. There's
Universe.
no roots or silences on EG for now. But obviously the armor is really nice. When you start getting low against Doom, the armor kicks in, so you can out-heal Doom.
You're asking for a defusal carry nice and early on. Arteezy has managed to complete that now. Coming out in the courier. So he left it as the casual Yasha before going into the Manta.
Obviously, you can only purge the Guardian Angel, but still a big deal. I have trouble seeing EG killing a guy who's repelled with Warcry on. I think Omnislash will not nearly get the job done. Tiny can't deal any damage. Doom can cast his Doom on him, which is nice, but the question is what the trade-off is. So for example, if they repel this Sven and he gets a Blink Dagger, which is exactly what he's doing now, I love this choice. They repel the Sven, he jumps in, he pops everything. I actually think they can't kill him. And if they want to, they have to commit really key abilities and group up, and then all of a sudden, guess what? There's a Warlock. So the lineup for IG is starting to come together now, as long as they can enforce fights breaking out in the first place. Similar to game number 1 and 2, EG will probably try to avoid that happening.
Well, similar to game number 1 and game number 2, we've got another 50 minutes to go.
Was game number 1 that long?
No, game 1 wasn't that long. Hello,
here we
mid
go.
lane. There's your jump forward.
Secret.
And reveal with the repel up. That's one very dead Rubik.
That's a dead tower as well.
And now, with no Fade Bolt, with no ability to pull him off the lane, they can fortify and buy some time, but that's only because they already had it. But the skewer, bo3 gets pulled back in range of the tier 2 tower.
Very
the
nice
dire sentry ward on the hill is what scattered him out.
Takes the bullet there. I don't think they could have really killed the Sven, so essentially probably a bit of a wasted death. And importantly for EG, he did not get his Observer ward out. I think bo3 was there to get a deep ward toward the right side or close to the tier 2 mid to get some better information about what plays they can get away with, especially... That was the first tier 1 they got, by the way. 21 minutes in, IG got that first tower, so definitely highlighting the issues that the lineup has with that compared to EG's taking all the tier 1s.
Yeah.
But this is when it starts kicking in. Sven is fat enough now that he can just go for it.
Yeah, he doesn't care the tier 1 towers are down. He can either force down the buildings or feel comfortable enough to farm inside of his own jungle.
Yeah.
But you're taking the tier 1 towers, but Sven's still number 1 on the board for net worth. We kind of expect that with Sven to be a couple of thousand ahead, but when the Omni Knight is still like
he's
costing
Zai,
the 10k.
Zai is in trouble.
Nice. He blinks, dodges the Stormbolt, and retreats back to his friend Crit in the bot lane.
I think they didn't realize, else bo3 would have definitely opened on him with just an attack to begin that. So Zai, quick reaction, gets out. And
But the trade-off now is going to be that bottom tier 1 tower. Burning's already pushing towards it.
I don't think EG are interested in this. They're going to try maybe for Roche, but why not? It's not that fast yet.
And with the shrine there, it's dangerous.
Oh,
They're not going
to let them even try.
There's the Observe ward on the hill, I think. Yeah, it's actually being de-warded now by Crit, so they know what's going on.
They might think they're in the pit because the scan... Oh, that's really nice by EG here. So the scan was red. And IG are going to assume, okay, they just saw multiple of our heroes in the bottom area. They're going to try to Roche while we push the tower. And they try to catch them off guard. But EG, one step ahead on that move. Oh,
Surveil.
That failed a bit. He has a Force Staff, though. Good item choice, by the way, I should mention. One of the best items against Riki. You have to get out of that damn smoke screen. It is an issue.
OP. Universe is looking for it. The RP will connect. You still have the shield up. And maybe they have enough control. Burning comes in. The stun's over on the Doom. Sleight of Fist. And they're out. The Rock will connect with a 4-man Fatal Bond. EG, they can't take the damage. Samel actually has to turn this around and do some level of damage. It's only bo3 manages to hit. OP goes back in again. Burning looking for the cleave. And he's actually doing it. Rubik's almost gone. But Arteezy with the spin. He's the man to stand his ground. They'll see bo3 over in the tree lines. Skewer in. Shockwave him down. And it looked like when the Rock dropped that IG had the advantage, but nope.
Omni being doomed is such a big deal. And Ember had to hard disengage as well. He got so low from the opening from Samel that he couldn't find. Oh, he's going to jump there.
He went on to XXS.
Oh, he's more than fine with this hood.
And you're 4-star down. He didn't actually get over the ravine.
This could become a problem if the heroes get to respawn in time. 10 seconds on the Riki. Oh, they're going to be fine. They can.
Yep. There's still no Rock up for Q now. So
that's still a really
problem.
big kill. They killed the biggest hero in the game. They got the kill on Sven. A lot of golden experience. I believe the last hit even went to Arteezy. It did. So that shifts the balance a lot, and he's catching up. It is this peculiar matchup, Juggernaut against Sven, where, you know, in theory, Sven is such a great counter, but more often than not in games, you get these situations where Juggernaut gets a chance to jump the Sven, use Diffusal on the Warcry, and then all of a sudden, Sven is actually not that tanky. If you get rid of Warcry, and he still has Mask of Madness running, Omnislash can take off a big chunk, unless Omni Knight can cast Guardian Angel. But guess what?
He was doomed.
He was kind of out of the fight for 2 eternities and a half.
Let's wait till the Aghanim Scepter's up.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that.
Unlikely. The Doom is enough.
So here goes the tower. IG run back up there, taking advantage of EG's lineup having these long cooldowns. RP is a long cooldown. Doom is an even longer one. 145 seconds on all levels.
Bobrik's got a little bit of vision here.
Again.
He sees Zai. Oh, the Ember Spirit. It's a blind TP. Arteezy in 2 seconds. 1 second he let the ulti go, and Universe just blinks up an RPs. Let's Arteezy save the Omni Slash. And that was just Ember getting the information from Bobrika, but having no support, no vision of that TP.
That's going to cost them a ton. Very nice setup here by EG. Seemed like they were baiting Zai, actually. Sending him in and keeping the other three, hoping for a TP on the shrine. That's what they got. Claiming this tier 2. And all of a sudden, this early lead that IG had has kind of trickled away. I don't even know if you should say they're leading anymore based on the graphs, because now it comes down to like how valuable is the gold. Omni Knight is not valuable if he gets doomed. I think he has to get this Lincolns that he's working on, but that's quite the ways away. It's like 3,000 to go, a bit more actually.
And Bobrika hasn't really been that front liner to give the Omni Knight information of where he can position.
It's pretty difficult to play Riki at this point. If you don't feel safe anywhere, Tiny kills you instantly. That's the problem, is that if there's any sentry and Tiny's in the neighborhood, you die right away. And there's no reaction time. It's impossible. Blink toss is completely instant, and you just avalanche. Bobrika can't really play to his full extent right now. You know, he delivered so much in Europe. But it's fallen off a bit. He went 3-2-1 early. Since then, he has 3 deaths with only 2 assists and hasn't really seemed to find the fights that they were looking for.
IG just smoked on top of the EG ward. Arteezy knows about it. That's why he's sitting there. We'll send a couple of illusions down. Just one to looking towards Roshan, one to bait in the mid lane. It doesn't burn the smoke as IG go further up the mid.
Nice play from Bobrika. He moved up close and his smoke broke, so he knows where EG are.
He's looking for crit.
And he's placing a sentry to try to get an idea of whether they have a sentry, so he... This is good stuff out of him, but they don't dare. It's too bad of a position. Even with RP down, they can lose this fight next to the shrine very easily.
So they back up, back to farming, back to keeping the lanes pressured out. Because they're both still needing the space to farm up the Lincoln Spheres.
Something I'm wondering if they're going to do... Does he actually have BKB? Not yet. Burning needs the hammer still, but I was wondering at this point if they're going to start repelling the Riki just so he can get in.
No, Burning's got the whole thing.
Oh, you got it?
Recipe's coming out in the courier, and he has
the hammer on him. I didn't see it. Okay, so that's the BKB. So more than likely now they will be repelling Riki or Ember and moving them in as front line, because all they need to do is get on top of EG with a repelled hero that gets to cast his stuff, and then immediately after, Bobrika can follow through and actually do a lot. Smokescreen is a really big ability in this game, just because of how clustered the fights are destined to be. It's so many melee heroes against each other that both RP and Smokescreen are like the big fight-deciding mechanisms here. And IG are starting to close in on actually multiple Lincolns. OP will be getting Lincolns. Then when he's repelled, he can't get doomed. That's going to be a problem, because then he will frontline for sure.
Yeah.
And this gives me more hope for IG, actually, because their itemization feels like it will be a bit more impactful than what EG are getting right now. Especially Sumail, you know, his items are not scaling items right now. It's a lot about weaving in and out of fights. You have Blink, Force, and Echo Saber. But there isn't that like big farming mechanic item coming out from him just yet.
This also seems to be really difficult for EG to get eyes on the Omni Knight this time around.
Yeah.
They've lost the vision and we hit nighttime. And they just don't know exactly where everything is. So Crit's going to be purchasing up a gem now. The vision increase will be there, and it is Sumail who's the man to carry it. And they instantly find that fresh Observer ward. But this also reveals the fact now that the gem is up.
That could have been a sentry. They haven't seen the Rubik, or whoever the gem carry was. They haven't seen it.
Sumail.
It was Sumail, okay. Didn't see him on the ward, I believe.
I saw him walk out, but it would have been pretty quick. Like,
now they might have seen him on that ward. That's actually... They walked past this ward in the middle without finding it with the gem. This is a lot of information that IG have to work with right now. If they're going to wait here on the high ground and try to see if they can get a catch to begin with, and Burning can just jump in. Oh, good ward by Crit.
Ember can also be... Oh, Universe! It wasn't the full committal. He pulled out the right moment.
He would have hit that, I think. It didn't look like Burning was ready to blink, but he hesitated, and probably a good idea overall there. That could have got scary.
Well, they still weren't ready to fight, because if they were forced into that engagement, and it's Invictus Gaming who had the high ground position, you'd have had to get the proper skewer out.
Oh. Arguably, he could have made it. Might have been scared of getting slight chains.
Yeah.
Then that becomes a complete disaster if he doesn't get the skewer out. he'll just RP, die, and IG will run them down.
And then you lose Roshan.
That too.
Sumail's hovering around the pit, still inside that Shadow Blade of his. Thanks to the Observer and Sentry that's there from Invictus Gaming, they were watching his maneuvering. OP might be the one who's in a little bit more trouble. Sumail did manage to find the Invis rune. Goodbye, crit. And
Arteezy is
instantly burning goes
really
in.
farmed, by the way. He has a full Scotty and Empower.
Okay, looking powerful.
Yep, he hits for 300 with Cleave.
Burning still got a little bit left of that God Strength of his, but he still hasn't finished up Roshan, so Arteezy leaves the healing ward behind. They get a smoke screen off Arteezy, forced up, gets him out of it, goes into his spin, wants to get out of this pit and allow the Omnislash to work, while Sumail on the backlines was looking for Q. He didn't hit the mark, but they did doom up the Omni Knight. That's why he didn't have everything else, but the Omnislash, Roshan cops almost all of it. Now you hit him off, Magnus and Arteezy, the escapee jumps in and out of the invisible Roshan pit. It's still not enough, and XXS, he survives. He got through the entire doom with Zion Sumail hot on his tail, but he doesn't care about chasing him. He tanks the doom, and this will allow Invictus Gaming to claim Roshan.
I think EG did the wrong split there. Zai, in my opinion, played this fight completely perfectly. He blinked on the Omni Knight, he doomed him, he forced the Warlock away, the Golem is very mediocre, but they didn't get to take the Sven out. Arteezy was kind of stranded alone, like you said, unlucky Omnislash jumping as much on Roche as it did. Kind of sealed the deal for that fight. That actually looked, in my opinion, super good for EG, the way they got in there. Guardian, as you were saying, God Strength was ending. He basically didn't have it for the majority of the fight, and they got the Doom on the correct target. That should result in a one fight, but a couple of misplays here and there. At least it really felt like that should have been their fight. But IG played with what they had, and now they got themselves a pretty significant advantage there.
Yeah, and now they get the items. It's the Lincoln Sphere up on OP. The Lincoln Sphere for Omni Knight is rapidly approaching as well. So that Doom, which has been so good from Zai, like Zai's found the positioning every single time, it's going to become more and more difficult. And the pressure is coming to the bottom tier 1 tower. Sumail already triggered off his shrine. Not sure if misclick or not, but he's ready to fight. Burning has God Strength off cooldown in just a second.
I'm wondering if this is a Daedalus game for Sven, or he should go for the Bloodthorn. There seems to be a lot of good targets in this. If you can Bloodthorn the Mag before he RPs, or even better, Bloodthorn the Doom before he dooms.
He's got the Daedalus lined up.
He can give us Omni Knight a game, basically, by getting that on the Doom. At the same time, though, the Lincolns is coming up. So they know that. There goes the tower. And, oh, what do IG want to do? They could continue here if they feel like it. Aegis on the Ember. It's still a fairly hard high ground to pull off, though.
Yeah. And they still probably want to get more damage on the Ember. It's great he's got all this defensive nature, but okay, there's your Maelstrom at least.
I'll take that as tribute.
How's the Warlock looking? You got 32 seconds until the Rock is up. And he's also building into the Solar Crest. Going to cause more issues for Juggernaut, who right now is looking to finish up a Mjolnir. So no true hit from Arteezy.
Oh, they're actually smoking to
they found XXS. The jump forward, bo3 gets a 3-man smoke screen off, plus the tricks of the trade. It's so much damage. Zai's going to drop. Universe creates a little bit of space with his RP. They were still caught inside the smoke screen, so Universe couldn't do anything. bo3 will come in and finish him off, and maybe there is enough damage. Crit's brought down. Arteezy stands his ground, but there is no more. With the spin, OP is low. The damage output, OP. The Aegis will burn, but it's still a triple kill for bo3. Zai wants to continue to fight, but OP is back. And he will be happy to man mode this Doombringer. Warlock will need to help out. He didn't even drop the rock. He has it up now. The steering chains hold him in position. OP with a spirit jump forward. He'll have enough and he'll do it. Zai will end up falling. That was a dive back from him.
6 for 3 and a gem. That is a really, really big win for IG.
The swing kicks it around 3.7k in the gold.
bo3 is doing so much damage, man. This Ricky is a really big problem. Again, they get the Doom on the Omni Knight. They get what they thought would be a good jump. 3-hero smoke screen, pops his ultimate. I think Ricky did about the same damage in that fight as the Ember or the Sven. Like just his ulti until he died hit 3 heroes 4 or 5 times. And that is with a diffusal blade, by the way. So
well, we saw this early today, right? We saw it with Kuro.
Yep.
And the amount of damage he was able to do, where he became really the proper third core.
Absolutely. This is just very good timing for him to hit that spike that they kind of needed in that fight, actually. If bo3 doesn't have the diffusal, the outcome of that might be very different. At least for EG, they did manage to bring down the Sven in the end. It looked like they weren't going to manage, but they got him down. But now the big problems begin. I think this item pickup is one of the most important in the game. Omni getting this, Linken's. If they are quick and want to, they can even drop Ember's Linken's on Omni as well and have him double protected.
Well, what else does EG have that can trigger the Linken's from far? Zai's going in for the Aghanim set to build. He actually is doing it as opposed to like even having a trigger item.
They have Spell Steal, Fade Bolt. Both of those spells have really good cast range. Telekinesis, a little bit worse, but still good. That's kind of about it. Omni Slash. But obviously it doesn't really do anything but gets rid of it.
Samel's coming in for a kill on bottom. But
See ya.
It's an Ember Spirit. He just spirits up to the top lane. That's where the rest of IG is. They're getting ready to fight. They actually smoke through the mid lane, so they're wrapping around to the bottom. TZ's going to be pretty close by. bo3 might be able to reveal his position. In fact, yes, he will. He'll see him. A quick smoke screen, diffuse the blade charge, and the perfect Stormbolt. But you're watching Universe. He's wondering if he should actually help out here with the RP. TZ with the spin moves up. There goes your RP on 2. It's more space creation, and the Guardian Angel plus the Grief being triggered. Magnus trying to run out this one, but the upheaval is making it impossible to walk. Even Burning, jumping in. 2 hit, or 3 hit. He'll get 4 onto crit to bring him down. Omni Slash now doing its work, but TZ has to keep the damage going with the spin. They look towards Burning. Maybe they can kill off those Ven. Yes, they can, but really, at what cost? You did manage to doom up the Omni Knight. You managed to get through the Linken's, but he got everything off beforehand.
There's no creep wave, so they can't get any pushing done, but that was still a very great fight for them. First time we see Omni Knight cast a spell in 10 minutes.
Yay! Woo!
Wonderful. That must have been really fun. He got to play his hero.
Celebrate good spells. Come on.
Can you imagine being level 20? You had the greatest laning stage ever. You're level 20, and you've barely played your hero. Oh, that's gotta be so frustrating.
He was a sponge.
But getting this Guardian Angel off and just casting a couple of spells, really major impact. We did, however, see in that fight what I was talking about with Jugger against Sven. He catches him off guard, the BKB is running out, and then he purges off the immediate Warcry from the Sven, and he almost solo killed him with an Omni Slash. And this is a really farmed Sven, so the plays still exist for EG, especially if Arteezy gets his next item. That should push him over the edge where he can almost always solo kill the Sven if the Purge gets out. But we're not there just yet, and of course, it so much depends on whether they lock down the Omni or not. Great save by Universe, by the way. That was really huge that he got the skewer off.
Crit. He didn't feel comfortable running down the river just then. Threw down the sentry ward.
Oh, bo3 was Desolator.
Yeah. He does a lot of damage in 300 gold.
He's spotting
and
all
now
of
we
them.
see 3 of them. The smoke screen. It catches 3. The 4-star get crit free. And Sumail blinks along with them.
Where's the gem on IG? Did they lose it again?
No one's holding on to it. It's in the base.
Okay, so they're
hiding. It's in the Radiant
it.
base.
Okay, yeah. I think at this point you should pick it up and go for a little bit of a scout. Now that you know where EG are, and you are the way you're moving your heroes, it looks like you're pretty confident that your jungle is fairly safe. So you could go for a little bit of a scouting mission with Ricky, try to find a couple of wards, at least in their own jungle, just to get that information. Keeping it in the base forever is probably not a good idea. Oh, exactly. It's coming out now with the Deso. We'll be going for a little bit of a checkup here. Sumail is hunting, though. He has a dust. This Ricky deals absolutely insane damage now, by the way.
If Sumail, Sumail can't even find the opening, because he wants, even if he blink jumps, you're still going to have time to get the tricks of the trade-off.
I want to see a Ricky ultimate.
Just to see everyone from EG die?
I think he 2-shots Rubik. Actually.
Well, to be honest, Crit doesn't really have a lot. He's I think, very happy to have over 1k HP.
It's a support Ricky 2-shotting. That's what I think he's going to do
This
anyway.
isn't a support Ricky, man. This is the 4th position.
If you
There's
say
actually
so.
2.
Oh.
And now Roshan. bo3 should be attacking because he does a lot of damage.
Oh. Look at that.
No, yeah.
This is a lot of minus armor. It's Solar Crest. It's Desolator.
It's Roshan.
Yep. Aegis going on Ember again. Oh, he's level 25 with Octarine. This is when he gets really nasty. He actually took the cooldown reduction over the Searing Chains duration. That is... might be the first time I've ever seen that. So the hero got nerfed, if you remember. The talents were different, so you could get cooldown reduction in the 3rd row, and then you could get Searing Chains in the 4th row, and now you have to choose between them.
They found Arteezy.
He went from
the Observe Ward let them see it. Arteezy, he's able to get the spin off. The smoke screen came very late, but OP's on his way in. Side of fist Syrian chain? No, he'll hold on to it. Oh, sorry, back to your explanation for everyone.
Yeah, I wonder what the reasoning is behind this. I could be wrong. Maybe this is the new way people play Ember, but I still feel like after this patch, I've mainly seen Embers going for the 2-second Syrian chains. So what does he really limit or reduce the cooldown on? He reduces the cooldown on his Lincolns. That's really nice. Cooldown on his Blink Dagger. And, of course, Sleight of Fist has a really low cooldown now as well. It's great, right? He has really low cooldown on everything. His Octarine and this 20% CDR, so it is strong. Does it outweigh 2-second Syrian chains, though, in this game? I don't know. Are there any Lotus Orbs on the Dire, even? Actually, there's nothing that counters chains right now.
Nothing.
It's literally a 5-second route every time he casts it, but... Alright, gonna go for the 3-second one instead. And... It's a trade-off, right? I think the choice is way less obvious now, for sure, just because of how much 20% is. It's really, really big. Mjolnir coming up, gonna be lower cooldown on that as well.
And meanwhile, IG like to keep the status quo. Keep the farm flooding in.
Arteezy is still farming so much.
Yeah, Arteezy's still #1 in net worth. He's only there by 800 gold, and he's going straight in for a butterfly as his next item.
He still needs to be careful. Even with evasion here, it gets tricky if he's close to anyone, because the Burning's cleave will destroy him.
Bobrika, solo kill. Universe, Diffuser Blade. There's your 4-stars. Jumps forward. Bobrika, he's attacking him from the front with the tricks and trade. He gets the kill. He solos Universe. And maybe now he goes for more. Ember Spirit will come in. Another Diffuser Blade charge. Bobrika has himself a double kill. Jump up. Spirit away. You know Zai is hiding in the tree line, so OP jumps in. He didn't clear off the right trees. They don't know. Zai begins his TP, and he is out.
Count your lucky stars. That was really, really close. OP guessed wrong. He checked top, and Zai went slightly more on the left. So that could have been even worse for EG, but they salvage it a bit. The heroes will be respawning before IG's wave. Actually, they have a wave here top. Uh-oh. Sven hits hard right now. This is a very quick push.
Doesn't even have the full assault cure. Sitting in his quick buy. Bobrika, however, copy a little bit of damage. OP jumps in. He was looking for the Syrian chains and Arteezy, but the spin just lasts a little bit longer. He's got him back up again, and Juggernaut! Here goes your rocket, caught Samael as well as Arteezy. The fight underneath the shrine, but even that regeneration is enough to save him. The gems on the deck, Crit is going to be able to regather that one, but first of all, he controls up OP, but OP's happy to fight. He gets another Searing Chain route over on Samael and Crit. OP, Lincoln Spear will trigger, but the damage onto Rubik, Crit can't even stay on the front lines. That's why Universe is forced to jump in to the RP, skewering back Sven, but he's protected by the Lincoln Spear. He one hits into a purification kill over on that poor Rubik. The Golem's doing the objective-based gaming, bringing down the fortress while burning. He will finally be brought down. The damage is there from Arteezy, but the life may not be. Another shrine having to be triggered. He looks towards OP. The trouble is Bobrika will drop IG. They're losing players quickly, but it may still be enough for them. Universe can't do enough. Even with this buyback, they have to bring back another one, and it will be Arteezy. To the front lines, defend the melee racks. He runs in, goes for the spin. The damage on OP is so high. Over 1,000 gold is 1052, higher than the GPEM of burning before. Arteezy will take the money off OP, and they will have enough damage to kill off this Omni Knight with the support of Universe. They'll get the kill. The Rax remains intact. It cost them heavily, however, with 3 buybacks coming out from EG.
Did I misread that fight, or did Arteezy actually kill Ember with an attack while he was spinning?
He did exactly that.
Because Ember was under Flame Guard, and I think the way it's coded with the Blade Fury is that if Blade Fury is not dealing damage to the target, you can hit them with regular attacks.
Correct.
So actually Arteezy got the kill off there because Flame Guard was on. That's a very, very weird interaction, if that's what's happened. At least that's what I saw.
Yeah,
I might have misread that.
I saw exactly the same.
Yeah. Crazy fight, but
he did so much damage. Like, he did 10,300 damage in that one fight.
Arteezy played that fight pretty much perfectly, I think. He baited them in. Samael did end up dying, saving him with the Force Staff, but I think they have to do something like that not to concede the racks for free. Afterwards, he gets the full Omni Slash off on the Sven, immediately purging Guardian Angel and Warcry with the same Diffusal, kills him off. Plays around in the base next to the Shrine. Just overall really nice play, and still that fight was so hard because they had to commit the Doom on the Ember, but he had the Aegis. So when he comes back up, IG are basically playing a 6-on-5 without Doom, and that they're just not going to lose that fight.
Yep.
Eventually. That's going to be the inevitable outcome of that. And an inevitable, apparently, 25,000 gold lead and experience. Okay, that's a bit more than I thought it was.
It seems very heavy in favor of IG, but while you're still running the Magnus buff up, like it's still a little bit deceiving. Like EG still have a lot to work with. They only lost their range rack, so the momentum in the lanes isn't really that heavy against them.
If they lose a fight now, it's over though. Both the Jugger and the Mag bought back there. I think there was even a tertiary hero, was there?
You had
Tiny as well, all 3 cores.
Yep. You have the Doom and the Rubik who still have buybacks for EG.
On EG. And it's a 4-minute 30 cooldown. So this is pretty much an all-in. I really like this play from EG that they pose up aggressively, they take over the hill.
They wanted to pick. They wanted IG to come out and say, oh, well, EG's just going to get control of their lanes back again. Now Burning, he'll jump in. It's over on Sumail, the force-off out Burning. Actually, whoa! Oh, boy! Sumail just got Game of Thrones decapitated. The rock will fall down as well with the Agnes buff up at Universe. Maybe with the RP into the Omni Slash. It won't do jack. GA is up. They don't have the damage. Now it's going to be to Juggernaut. Arteezy, man to dodge all you want. It's still going to be Burning having a double kill. It was all in. There is no Arteezy for 2 minutes, and that may have been the fight to win the game.
That fight ended up awful for them, but I think it's the right choice. Arguably, they maybe shouldn't have...
They called it. They have actually called it. The Doom didn't even kill off Bobaker that he used to try to survive, but EG understand when this game is lost with no Arteezy to defend. That is Invictus Gaming taking the series 2-1.
I don't really... I think the choice of taking the fight there is the best choice they have. I'm not sure if putting Tiny in the lane like this is going to work out. You saw him kind